Welcome back for the last lesson of 3.4. 3.4 is over exploratory data analysis. And this is where we're kind of bringing everything together for chapter 3. You're going to learn how to find the 5-number summary, which you've kind of already found. You're going to learn how to make and read a box plot and how to make one in Alex. So the 5-number summary is the lowest data value of the data set, which is the minimum, the Q1, the median or Q2, the Q3, and the highest value of the data set. And I've mentioned it in one other video, but the formal way to do this is putting your data either in a list or in a table and referencing either the column in your table or the list with just using this command stats. And remember, all commands are always lowercase. So it will then give you the 5-number summary. And then if you want to make a box plot in Desmos, because the picture is great to be able to see, it's also called a box and whisker plot sometimes. It gives you a great picture. You're going to either put your data in a table or in a list. It's up to you. And then you're going to use the command box plot. So box plot X1 or box plot of L if your data is in a list. Be sure to click the box to exclude the outliers. We want them to show as special characters. Okay, so I'm going to show you a couple examples. So um, let's flip the page. So page 70. So there is a help video for lesson 3.4 Alex video in the Alex module, Alex help module. If you look at the modules and go all the way down to the bottom, there is a whole module for Alex help videos. And there's one for this, but I'm going to quickly go over it. So the key in Alex is that I would put my data into Desmos. I'm going to show you this data from at the Alex. That I put it into Desmos here. So I put my data into Desmos. I put it in a list. You can also put it in the column here. It's up to you. Because if I do stats of that, I should get this. Oops, I should get the same value, but I did 2 different data sets here, it looks like. Okay, I wanted to make sure I had my data straight. So it's the one in the column. And I would, even if you're doing Alex, I would put this into Desmos because you can get your Q1 and Q3. And if you type box plot, you can see your box plot. And make sure you click on the box here that says exclude outliers. So when I click exclude outliers, you can see that my outliers stick out, and I want to see that. So the key is that your lower fence, so I calculated my lower fence by taking my Q1, subtracting 1.5 times my IQR. So my lower fence is 19.5. So any of these dots are going to be any of the actual data points that fall outside of or lower than 19.5. But that means when you're drawing in Alex, you need to be able to draw this endpoint right here. See where my mouse is? This little mark right here that's at 24. That mark in Alex, you're going to draw that because it's the last data point that falls inside of the lower fence. And that data point happens to be 24. So you'll need to be able to look at all the data points and find out what's the lowest point that falls inside of that is still bigger than your lower fence of 19.5. That is 24. And then on the right-hand side, I don't have any outliers. So my right hand, this little mark right here just happens to be my maximum point. So sometimes it will be your maximum point or your minimum, and sometimes it won't, depending on if you have outliers. So you can go back and watch that video. So let's go back to the notes here for a moment. So that is this whole picture right here. This is the smallest data point that is bigger than 19.5, which is my lower fence. So that is 24. So example one, you can follow these in the Desmos link for the Bluman here. The Desmos link for 3.4. But it says these are the number of pages in 40 different books on a shelf, constructed box plot. And so I typed these into Desmos, into a table, I believe, probably into a table, into X1. And then I just typed a box plot and stats, and this is what I got. So there is one outlier, and you don't see it on here because I did not click the box. So if you see what you want to see what it looks like clicked, I will show you that. Right here in my Desmos file, you will see that I clicked on exclude the outliers, and you can see that there is an outlier right here. So 512 is an outlier. Let's see here. Turn it on. Turn it on. Sorry about that. Okay, here is the one that we are looking at, and I'm going to rescale it by hitting zoom fit um, and click on it, and I'm going to click on my exclude outliers. So there are no outliers on this one, and that is just because our lower fence and our upper fence stretches out quite far, and so there aren't any outliers. Even though I didn't click on the button, there are not any. And you can see that here. And I'm going to go ahead and click find my lower fence by taking 237 minus 1.5 times, I'll give you my IQR here. And so my lower fence is 0. And so I didn't go there, and my upper fence I didn't go above that. So that's why we don't have to worry about that. Okay, let's look at the next example 2. So example 2 says the following data set shows the heights in inches for boys in a class of 40 students. And then we also have the heights of girls. Construct a box plot using Desmos for each data set. Which box plot has the wider spread for the middle 50% of the data? So if you go to my Desmos file, you will see I put the boys and girls data into Desmos into columns X2 and Y2. The boys are in X2 and the girls are in Y2. And then I just looked at each of these. Now I need to go back up and turn off. So if you click over here and the circle, that turns off a graph, and that's what I should have done for that. So now in the boys and girls, I can go down and type box plot of X2, box plot of Y2, and turn them on. And they are very small, so I have to hit the magnifying glass so it will scale them. So you can see that the purple is the males, they are definitely higher, and the black is the females. And it doesn't look like there are any outliers for either of them. But we can definitely see that the males are higher on average. But as far as the bigger 50%, That is a good question. So we could see bigger 50% there. So the 50% on the boys is 472 to 68. And the bigger 50% on the girls is 5. So the girls have a higher, bigger 50% than the males. And then let's go back to here. So example 3, find the mean, median, and the shape of the distribution of this data. So I will let you go to my Desmos and find that information. Typing it in would be good. So if you go to and find the mean is 79 and the median is 50. So the mean is much bigger, and you can see that there is an outlier here from the picture as well. So we can see from the picture on the box plot, we can also see from the comparison on the numerical data on the mean and median that it is definitely a skewed right distribution. So we would be using the median and the IQR to best describe the data. And looking at that same data here, answering some questions about that. It says, what is the minimum value? It looks like the minimum value is a 0. What is the Q1? So that is right in here. We can type it in and find it too. It comes out to be 15. What is the median value? That's right at 50. What is the Q3 value? It looks like it's right there at about 110. What is the IQR? 110 minus 15 or 95. And what is the maximum value? The maximum value is that outlier of 330. So that sums up lesson 3-4 and all of chapter 3. I hope that you're grasping some of the concepts here on descriptive statistics. And if you have any questions about the project for chapter 3, please reach out. Have a blessed day.